Top 15 of the most bizarre WWE rumors currently circulating backstage.
If you are brand new to our channel, we invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Just click on the lit red button as well as the gray bell. Why the bell? Well, it will let you know every time we post a new video.
15.
Daniel Bryan vs. Shane at SummerSlam. It appears as though the WWE is slowly backing itself into a corner, making a Daniel Bryan return to the ring seem more and more likely. Currently over on SmackDown Live, it seems like a feud is quietly brewing between Commissioner Shane McMahon and the acting GM Daniel Bryan. With such a storyline taking place, many have linked the long-term feud to a possible in-ring return for Bryan. According to the rumor mill, the bizarre story would see Bryan return at SummerSlam and not WrestleMania. The WWE likely wants to give Bryan more time, resulting in his return for the summer PPV. With his contract set to expire at the end of 2018, putting Daniel back in the ring before his contract expires seems like a wise choice given his desire to return to the ring. It'll be interesting to see how this rumor plays out.
14.
Royal Rumble Triple Threat. In a surprising twist, it looks like the WWE is once again going down the path of a triple threat match for the championship title picture. Initially, it was rumored that Finn Balor was set to challenge Lesnar, though we'll have a little more on that story and why the plans fell through in a later entry. Instead, the now rumored match seems to be a triple threat involving Kane, Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. At one point, it actually seemed as though Lesnar was going to be given the PPV off due to lack of opponents. However, the WWE took the easy route in setting up this match. The booking for such a match is extremely easy for the creative team, as Strowman will once again come out of the match looking like a monster, while Brock is almost guaranteed to pick up the victory, while surely pinning Kane, who's at the twilight of his career. We'd laugh thinking about Kane in the Universal title picture heading into the Rumble earlier this year, quite the bizarre rumor that's likely to take place.
13.
Earl Hebner wants back in. Here's a former name you likely didn't think about. The 68-year-old former referee Earl Hebner is now a free agent, believe it or not. Impact has made several budget cuts, which included the disposing of most of their referees, opting for cheaper and local refs instead. Earl is now a free agent and has stated interest in returning to the WWE, claiming Vince has always been good to him and that he'd like another run as a thank you to the WWE. His return might be a little more difficult, as Earl was fired by the company for illegally selling merchandise. He hasn't been welcomed back to the company ever since, though Vinstos have a tendency to forgive and forget, making a return possible. At the very least, a Hall of Fame induction would be right given his body of work as one of the most recognizable WWE officials of all time. 12. Beef between Ryback and Rusev. Oh, Ryback. Despite his WWE release, he remains in the gossip mill for usually the most peculiar of reasons. This time around, he wasn't taking a shot at the WWE, but instead ripping Rusev for a workout photo posted by Jimmy Uso. In the photo, Ryback left a comment ripping Rusev for going too light, which is preposterous considering the guy's a former pro weightlifter. Ryback added to the comment writing, "F Rusev Day." Yes, very classy by the big guy. As we've seen with Rusev, however, the dude's got a hell of a personality, and he's also quite witty. This was another example as Rusev reacted to Ryback's comments by simply writing "all natural workouts here." Yikes. A bizarre spat between two unlikely participants. When it was done with, Rusev definitely came out on top.
11.
11. Vince views New Japan as little. In a surprising twist, Mark Cuban recently spoke out about the wrestling business. According to the billionaire, he's excited about the New Japan product, making the claim that it can rival the WWE. Of course, there's a reason for Mark's enthusiasm, as the New Japan show is a part of his network, Access TV. For that reason, Cuban is fully invested in the overseas company. Cuban has admitted that there are some noticeable struggles, such as the language barrier, though he loves that it's an alternative to the WWE. When asked about how Vince feels about New Japan, Cuban simply stated, "McMahon views the company as little sh, which really shouldn't surprise anyone." Again, Cuban indicated the language factor as the biggest reason for Vince's sentiments. Despite McMahon's apparent reaction, Cuban is optimistic that the company will grow immensely in time as a Friday night staple on the network.
10.
10. Cyborg wants Rousey at WrestleMania. According to the latest reports, Ronda Rousey has signed a deal with the WWE and has also started her training. The rumor mill even suggested she got in the ring with Natalya, which is a huge step. Her stablemate Shayna Baszler is also set to make her NXT television debut any day now. Slowly, the UFC's 4 horsewomen are starting to make the transition into pro wrestling. In a bizarre twist, a current rumor sees Rousey getting challenged by another UFC competitor, Chris Cyborg. No, the fight isn't intended for the octagon, but instead, Chris wants a match with Rousey at WrestleMania, which is quite the head-scratcher. Given Vince's lack of knowledge for anything MMA, the chances of such a match taking place are pretty slim. Instead, we can expect a tag match featuring the WWE and the UFC's 4 horsewomen.
9.
9. Balor not facing Lesnar due to not being over. It seemed inevitable. Paul Heyman himself was even praising Balor during in-ring promos. However, once Kane destroyed Balor in a one-on-one match, we knew those plans had been officially destroyed. In a bizarre twist, Balor was taken out of the marquee match, and the reason for it is just silly. According to the rumor mill, Finn was removed from the match by Vince himself for not being over enough. According to McMahon, Balor has a talent level similar to Dolph Ziggler, which isn't something a performer wants to hear. Finn has taken exception to the rumors, constantly poking fun at the fact that he isn't over enough. He even recently took to Twitter, in burying the Universal Championship match that's set for the Rumble, tweeting out, "It appears the dispute between Kane and Braun is not over." You can interpret that message however you want.
8.
8. The motive for new mixed match concept. Of course, there's always an alternative reason for a new idea. Recently, the WWE announced a mixed tag team tournament featuring names of both male and female performers. The fans get to decide the duos as the teams will participate via Facebook's live stream. That's all fine and dandy, however it's another money play, as Vince's intention with the show is to get in the good graces of Facebook, who of course are a giant network via the internet. WWE is always looking to expand, and taking the Facebook route is certainly a wise decision. With their TV contract set to expire, the partnership will only help to open more doors, which is the biggest motive for the move. Putting the motives aside, the competition concept seems to be pretty cool, and it'll be great for a live audience. The tournament is set for a 12-week run. 205 Live is expected to change time slots for the mixed match event.
7.
7. Who catches heat with wrestling fans and wrestler? You have to feel for Mia Khalifa and her lack of knowledge pertaining to the wrestling business. While in discussion about Ronda Rousey's future, Mia had some choice words for both Ronda and the WWE. Her quote, "This is where her career will go to die. I have no respect for the WWE. It's not a real sport. It's embarrassing. Yikes." Wrestling fans of course revolted against the adult star, swarming her Instagram page with negative comments. Even former WWE star Hurricane had some words for the 24-year-old, words that according to many, went a little too far, as even the Hurricane was blasted by many of Mia's followers. Wisely, Mia took back her words, accepting an invite to watch a wrestling show. Hopefully, for her sake, the cameo will get her back in the good graces of the internet wrestling community.
6.
6. Neville's supposed to join SmackDown Live. The Neville story behind the scenes continues to be one of the most bizarre rumors currently circulating, given the ups and downs backstage. Once Neville walked away, it seemed like a release was inevitable, as the former Cruiserweight champ made a statement behind the scenes that he was miserable since January. In a surprising twist, reports indicated McMahon and Neville had a great one-on-one, and that he was set to return in 2017. Once again, it seems like those plans have been derailed. According to the latest rumor, things have once again soured between both sides, and a return is now unknown. The latest story to come out linked Neville to a debut on SmackDown Live during the WWE's tour of Europe, though once again, strangely enough, the plans fell through. We hope to see a resolution between both sides sooner rather than later.
5.
5. Vince was excited for 205 Live. Despite the fact that many believe Vince doesn't have a clue or interest in building cruiserweights, former WWE writer Jimmy Jacobs actually hinted at the opposite, claiming McMahon was one of the most excited and optimistic people behind the scenes pertaining to the show's potential. Obviously, that likely fizzled out down the road due to the fans' lack of interest for the show. However, it's still pretty baffling that Vince was into the concept to begin with. Looking at his track record with the weight class, his history indicated otherwise. Who can forget the WWE's light heavyweight division that tried competing with WCW's cruiserweights? Man, was that ever brutal. Once again, McMahon is ushering in the same results, as fans just haven't invested their time and interest into the 205 Live characters. It remains to be seen what the future holds for the brand.
4.
4. Nia Jax gets shamed by co-workers. Another bizarre rumor currently circulating. Jax made quite the statement recently via social media. She made the bold claim that not only is she getting body shamed online, but it also takes place in her own workplace. According to Nia, her fellow peers have been shaming her in the locker room while getting undressed. The news was certainly alarming and bizarre, especially in this day and age. Of course, the WWE doesn't take such claims lightly. For that reason, one has to believe that her current romance storyline was done in order to prove that times have changed, and that bigger females can also play the role of a steamy symbol. No word yet on who made such claims. It's truly bizarre considering that the backstage atmosphere is quite amicable nowadays compared to what it used to be, making Jax's claims that much more bizarre.
3.
3. Rich Swann's recent arrest. One of the most bizarre stories to recently come out involved the arrest of 205 Live star Rich Swann. News recently broke out discussing his arrest. He's accused of both battery and kidnapping his own wife. The charges were truly harsh, and because of it, we won't see the high flyer on WWE television for quite some time, as he was immediately suspended indefinitely by the company. Luckily for him, he was not released. Witnesses were on hand, which made things a lot worse. According to onlookers, Swann forcefully tried putting his wife back in the car as she allegedly jumped out while the car was still in motion. The court case is ongoing at this point, and there's no timetable for a return. It remains to be seen if the WWE will choose to let Swann's contract expire without returning, or if he'll be granted a return at some point later on.
2.
2. Triple H and Strowman at WrestleMania. Fans weren't the happiest following Survivor Series, because the entire match was basically built around Braun Strowman and Triple H becoming the sole survivors. It seems like there was a reason for the angle, as it's now being rumored that Hunter is set to take on Strowman at the upcoming WrestleMania event. Online reaction has been mixed to such news, as the match is truly bizarre given Braun's hot run as of late. Facing Triple H is viewed as a step down by many. However, the game loves to put over upcoming talent, and it seems like that's the route the company is electing to take. Don't be surprised to see heat intensified between the two shortly. As for the game and Angle story, it's now being rumored that the company has bumped it up to the Royal Rumble, as the WWE has major plans for the event in an attempt to make it a marquee event.
1.
1. Vince reacted positively to Chris Jericho joining New Japan. When Chris Jericho showed up via a video package on New Japan, the rumor mill was absolutely electric. One of the first questions many wrestling pundits pondered was Vince's reaction to Jericho's decision. Naturally, many thought he'd be irate, but according to Chris, that wasn't the case. Despite being a free agent, props to Jericho for speaking to Vince before. He didn't need to make such a decision, though it was admirable that he did so nonetheless. Jericho called McMahon 6 weeks before signing the deal, and Vince was said to be excited. The conversation was very brief, and Jericho believes that Vince felt strongly due to the fact that it'll only help his business even further in the long run. McMahon knows Jericho's forever a WWE guy, which only facilitated the conversation between the two.
Yeah.